Hi and welcome. This time around I have a quick project. I picked up these sharpening stones at Harbor Freight. They were ridiculously inexpensive. I think they were $2 and something each, which is an incredibly good deal. They seem a little bit more brittle than the Norton stones. I don't know what they're made out of. I'm guessing aluminum oxide. I was able to chip this, popping it in and out of this next piece I'm going to show you. So I want to pop these on the surface grinder so I can take my diamond wheel and make these precision ground flat stones. That's my goal. And I was just curious to see if these are any good. May not be worth my time, but I made this fixture here. There's going to be room for a set screw and a brass bushing nut that allow the set screw to push against these. Although I made this thing so tight in tolerance, I thought I'd make about 5 thousandths oversized, but these things vary by a huge amount. I think they're formed by taking some powdered material, putting it in a hydraulic, in a mold, squeezing with a hydraulic press, and then sintering that. But they're not super hard. So this fits a little bit closer than I intended. This was my first printing attempt, so oftentimes the first printing attempt doesn't go exactly how you're intending. But I can get that to sit flat there even without adding the set screw in here, and I probably could surface grind this without any problem at all. But the other one's a little looser, and this one's too tight to fit at all. That's how big the range is. Kind of crazy. These spots on the side, because you're figuring what's going to hold this fixture in place, I figured I'd take some steel. This is 5 and 6 inch pieces, but I don't really need 6 inch. So I'm probably going to make like 5-inch sections of this. And I'm going to machine off one of the corners to 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to be 1/1000th less than the thickness of this, so that the metal is like 1/1000th floating above the surface, and hopefully when you put the magnet on the surface grinder, it'll pull that down and really pinch that in place. That's my intention. One piece of steel on each side here of this 1 1/4 by 0.75 steel. So I guess first of all we're going to do this, then we got to turn the piece in the lathe for this guy, plus we have to ream it. Man, that's in there. Yeah, I need to print a little bit bigger size version of this because this is really quite tight. Anyways, first printing attempt. We're just going to cut off some 5-inch sections of my bandsaw. What I want to machine is 1/4 inch in and 1/4 inch down. It doesn't have to be super precise, but I guess I'd like it to be moderate. See about 100 thousandths pass. This is just mild steel. Alrighty, nice fit. The depth is really good. This is going to pull down and just barely be above the magnet, hopefully pull flush and create quite a bit of friction. Just need to make one more and we're good to go. Next up, we're going to make a flanged nut that will fit in here. I didn't have any support materials, so it's a little out of round there. A 1/4 inch hole going through. It's at a 5-degree down angle to push whatever it is down. I've got a set screw with a brass insert, so that'll push against the block, and hopefully that'll work all right. So first we need to find my outside diameter. Okay, that should be 0.401. Just going to set my DRO here. I'm 1/1000th over, that'll be fine. That's a good direction to be. Try a center drill here. I think that's fully engaging there. Let's see if we can go in 1/2 inch. Here's our setup. We got a tap follower here, tap handle, 832 tap. And I'll face it off on the other side. I told you this would be a quick project, so putting the set screw in here with the brass insert on the tip. I guess you can see that. That'll push against the block. This is going to get pressed into here. Probably going to use, oh, that's nice and tight. That's good. I'm going to use a vise to press that guy in. And we should be good to go. We can head over to the surface grinder and try this thing out. Well, after several 3D prints later, I think we finally got there. It wasn't without incident. So the first one was out of PLA. I'm using up all my PLA because I don't really use PLA anymore. I've switched to PETG almost exclusively. Among other things, PLA tends to shrink when it gets hot, like in a car hot. So it's not as good a plastic for most of what I do. So I have a bunch, so I'm trying to get through it so I don't, you know, if I do a quick prototype, I always use PLA. Also, I found that the infill on this was 15%. I just chose 2 layer walls and 15% infill, and found that when I went to press in the brass bit, it just crushed, as you can see here. It wasn't as strong as I would have liked. Usually PLA is not bad, but in this case didn't work out. So the next one was in PETG, and halfway through the print ran out of the gray filament. Fortunately, the Bamboo Labs printer just will pick up right where it left off, or you can even have it automatically switch over if you have 2 of the same color loaded in there. So this one was fine, except it was a bit too tight, as was this one. And finally, I came up on this design, and you'll also notice I ended up relieving the corners, which I should have done in the beginning. I was thinking about it, but didn't do it. And what was happening was it was so tight that I was getting, it was sticking in the corners because they're not vertical, not perfectly vertical. So I want to show you one of these that didn't work out so well. These Harbor Freight stones are really brittle. So they were blowing out in the corners because it was catching as I tried to remove it. And that was very problematic, unfortunately. I will say it does kill me to throw out all these other prints. I really hate when I waste. I usually get my dimensions better than this, but in this case, it required a fair number of iterations. And as anyone who designs anything knows, that mistakes are often part of the process. So I think we're ready to try this out. I got to say that these stones, their proportions are quite a bit off, and it looks like they put relief in them so they'd remove out of the mold, because it fits in easily this way, but was pretty tight this way. And I didn't, when I was testing it, I didn't try both sides. And then when I went to pull this out, if it comes out at an angle at all, it tends to blow off pieces of the surface, like you can see here in the corners. These are pretty brittle stones. I definitely think they're a lot more brittle than the Norton. Here's what they sound like rubbed together before being surface ground. So not super flat. This one, the last one's in. That's probably closer to what it's going to sound like. That's pretty decent, actually. So we're going to throw these on the surface grinder, grind them really quick, just get the top mostly flat, and we'll see. I don't think these are going to wear very well. They are way too brittle, I think. After locking the magnet down, this thing is rock solid. I was worried these pieces weren't going to apply enough force to this fixture, but it's actually great. So I think we are going to need the Allen to hold this in place, because I don't want it slipping around while I'm grinding. It's low force, but still. Oh, another thing is I don't know how the plastic I made this fixture out of is going to deal with the coolant. I didn't think about that aspect, and that's probably something that shouldn't be ignored. This stuff comes off much easier than a Norton stone too. You almost can't hear it removing materials, how easy it comes off, which means it's going to wear really quickly. So these stones aren't going to last. They'll have to be redressed constantly, but maybe they'll work as precision ground flat stones enough as you rub them against each other to get rid of high spots once they're flat. After each pass, I need to clean everything. So I put it back down. There's the ground side, there's the unground one. We'll see how this is saturated with coolant. Hopefully the coolant won't damage it either. Hopefully this is actually sintered together rather than held with a binder, because that could be a problem too. So we're gonna do the back side of the same one. Just so you know, I'm wearing a respirator. Have this piece of pretty finely cut D2 material. I don't know how, if it was saw cut, that is the finest saw cut I've ever seen. It's got some rust on it. So rust should catch a flat stone because it sticks up. And it is. You can also see a bunch of scratches in the flat stone, verifying that these are probably too soft to use for any long-term solution. Did remove the rust, but took some work and damaged the stone after a single usage. So you can flatten them again, but you probably don't want your stones wearing out that fast. So it did a pretty darn good job removing that, but again, the stone abraded. Now we're going to try on this little rusty spot here. We're going to try the softer side. The other thing is, if you get excessive wear with your flat stones, if you use them on something important like your machine ways, then you risk leaving grit on your machine ways, and that also could be a really big problem. It actually did a great job removing it. They're just not going to have any longevity. So bottom line is, I think you should use the Norton ones if you're going to spend the time to go ahead and make flat stones. Not worth saving the money. I learned a lot on the fixture here, making a non-magnetic fixture. These two plates work really well. They were designed specifically so that they sat about 1/1000th above the bottom surface here, so that when the magnet pulls them down, it really creates a lot of friction. I couldn't budge this thing anywhere, so that was a success. I can use these in the future, which is nice. Fixture design worked out fine. The plastic survived my coolant just fine, which is pretty cool. That may not be the same for your coolant. Mine is it's a safe coolant that's biodegradable, that if you hadn't any metal particles and other thing mixed in it, you could just put it down the drain. Although they say you can't, because once you get metal particles in it, it's not legal anymore. But mine's completely made from organic materials, but yours may not be, and it may be a more aggressive solvent or other organic materials. So you need to try the plastic out and see if it works. This one didn't swell at all, and it didn't get soft at all. So that's a good sign, at least not in the short term. Again, don't recommend the Gordon sharpening stones. You're gonna do this. They're less than 1/10 the cost of the Norton stones, but the Norton stones, you can tell how much harder just by the way they sound they are. They're gonna have much better life expectancy. These guys are gonna wear out quick. You saw just removing a little bit of rust here that it took some chunks out of the stones. It did work, but they wore pretty fast. Now you can remake them flat again, but you don't want to have to do that constantly if you don't have to. Also, if your stones get dirty, like this one's got a bunch of debris in it, and it's got some schmeg on it. So all you need to do is have a piece of cardboard, spray some WD-40 on it, rub that side on the stone, and you see the dirt coming off. I don't know why it works so well, but it really does. It cleans it very quickly, just like that. And if you go longer, it'll even pull out a lot of these little metal bits that are stuck in there that it's pulled off. Pretty darn cool. That's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you find it useful. Hope to see you next time.